Hello everyone, I'm DanTheMan. A little while back, the newest trailer dropped for Stargirl. While I'm a bit late with this, I still wanted to give my breakdown of this trailer. Before I dig into it, I want to warn everyone that there will be spoilers for the upcoming season of Stargirl, so if you want to avoid spoilers at all costs, you won't want to go any further. Also, in my breakdown of the last trailer, I went in depth on Courtney and Pat Dugan's backgrounds in the comics and compared it to what we know about the show through the trailer. I don't want to go too much into the same details all over again with this breakdown, but if you haven't seen my last video and want to know a bit more about Stargirl, the character in the previous trailer, you can click on the card, or I'll also have the link in the description and on a card in the end of this video. We start out seeing what appears to be Pat dropping off Courtney for her first day of school. His telling her to have a super day and her rolling her eyes cracked me up. Not so much for the bit itself, but this is the Courtney and Pat relationship I remember in the early days of the comics, where she initially was not real on board with her mom's new husband Pat, and it caused the two to initially have a strained, sometimes even adversarial relationship, until over time they developed more into a superhero duo and a family. Clearly some of that will be on the show, although based on the trailer, and the focus that the show will apparently have on reforming the Justice Society, I'm guessing it won't drag out all season. I'm not sure how I actually feel about that if it's true, as them growing into a team and developing a father-daughter relationship over the first season arc would seem like a built-in way to do their story. But a lot more is going to be happening in here than did in the 14-issue run of Stars and Stripe, so likely that arc will be rushed. Hope it at least carries on for more than just the pilot. For a bit after that, we get mostly ground covered in the last trailer, with Courtney finding Starman's staff. I did like the scene of her riding the staff, both because it looked really good and showed that the CGI will be a step above the Arrowverse, but also it showed the part of the Courtney that generally enjoys being a superhero, which is a big part of her character, especially in her early stories, before she was exposed to the less fun aspects of being a superhero, which have jaded her a little bit in more recent comics. We see a bit more of the JSA mansion being destroyed. Of note are the green flames everywhere. Many who saw this thought of the Golden Age Green Lantern, a character who has been a big part of the Justice Society in all of its various incarnations, and whose constructs had a green flame motive to them, unlike the Green Lantern most know of. It should be noted for non-comic book fans that this is not to be confused with the Green Lantern of modern comics or the Green Lantern Corps. The Golden Age Green Lantern was an inspiration for the eventual creation of the Green Lantern more known to modern fans, but this one has never been part of the Green Lantern Corps and got his powers in a very different way. A lot assume, given the TV show and potential movie in the works, that Warner would not let them use this character due to his name being the same as the one that they've got such other plans for. But it's clear from the trailer, most notably the scene of him falling, that he will at least be in the pilot. It's possible they won't actually use his name, and that's how Warner allowed him to go ahead and be included, since he'll likely only be in the flashback of the JSA being defeated. We then get some scenes of the Justice Society, which has been stated in promotion will be defeated in the beginning, setting the stage for Courtney to reform the team with new heroes throughout the first season. The other notable thing in the trailer, and the one that had me geeking out, and a lot of people geeking out, was a picture they showed of the Justice Society of America. And in a picture reminiscent of art by comics artist Alex Ross, who did several covers for the Justice Society's more recent comics, which showed the whole team. Like most superhero teams, the Justice Society has gone through many roster changes, but this is the more popular members from the original team, including some fans thought might not get a mention. Aside from Starman, the hero Pat was a sidekick for, and that Courtney took on the name from, we got Johnny Thunder and his Thunderbolt, the before-mentioned Golden Age Green Lantern, the Golden Age Jay Garrick Flash, we saw Dr. Fate, Wildcat, Hourman, the Golden Age Sandman, and Dr. Midnight. It should be noted that seeing Starman in that suit is something of an acronym from the comics. This is more or less the Golden Age Justice Society's most famous members, but this incarnation of Starman was never technically a member. In the Golden Age, the Star-Spangled Kid, who was renamed and tweaked to have been Starman in the show, despite Sylvester Pemberton never operating under that name in the comics, was a member of a superhero team called the Seven Soldiers of Victory. They were a less popular team, but still one of the first superhero teams ever. He did have a brief run with the Justice Society after being sent to the present from his World War II era, but he's much better known for forming a team of young heroes called Infinity Incorporated, which is where he wore basically the suit that he has on this show, going by the name Skyman then in the 80s. There was a Starman in the Justice Society in the comics, but it was an entirely different character. Basically, these changes, as I said in the last video, were made to make the show's backstory less convoluted than the comics version, but it was still a bit jarring to see it, even if it made sense why they did all that. The other big thing we got is a clear shot of Pat Dugan's striped mecha suit. This is how he both kept an eye on Courtney and protected her in the early days of her career as a superhero, often to his annoyance being mistaken by the public for her robot sidekick. We got a good look at this suit in the final part of Crisis on Infinite Earths, but it's still awesome to see more of it. It's a fairly comic accurate depiction, much like Stargirl's costume is pretty comic accurate. I can't help but think we'll see it sparingly due to the budget. Stargirl does have a bigger budget than a typical CW superhero show, or than the Titans or Doom Patrol, which are two of the other shows produced for DC Universe. And the bigger budget is due to DC Universe being the ones the show was originally made for, but I still doubt that they can afford to have him operate it in every episode and to constantly be at Courtney's side in the suit like he was in the comics initially. But even so, when I heard they were making the Stargirl TV series, I assumed that S.T.R.I.P.E wouldn't be in it at all due to the budget reasons, so them having him in it in any capacity is just awesome. Then we get a good shot of some of what I can assume, since they're clearly leaving the JSA mansion, is the Injustice Society destroying the JSA. The members we see are Tigress, Sportsmaster, I believe that's supposed to be Brainwave, although he looks much different from the comics, Icicle, and behind them is Solomon Grundy. And man, just from the glimpse we got, he looks amazing. Like S.T.R.I.P.E, I don't think we're going to get much of him. In fact, in Solomon Grundy's case, it'll probably just be the flashbacks of this scene. In fact, there was a small part in the trailer that looked like it might have been Solomon Grundy being killed off, likely to get around having to keep using him. But he definitely looked a lot better than he did on Gotham, or in Legend of the Superheroes, although, ironically, I think he actually looked more comic accurate in Legend of the Superheroes than Gotham, despite the fact that that was a cheap show made in the 70s, and Gotham was a more recent show. But this more monstrous look definitely sells him a lot better. After that, we see Dragon King, who was the big bad of the Stars and Stripe comic, and has been confirmed will also be the big bad in the first season of Stargirl. Most of these characters, or I believe all of these characters, were part of a supervillain team called the Injustice Society. They were basically what the Injustice League is to the Justice League. All in all, I love this trailer. It kind of killed some of the big reveal as we got a shot of S.T.R.I.P.E and at least part of the new Justice Society in a brief glimpse we got of them in Crisis, but it still looks great, and I love the music to it also. I can't wait for this show, and spring cannot get here soon enough. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video. And check out my breakdown of the previous Stargirl trailer by clicking right here. And while you're at it, feel free to check out my reviews of Harley Quinn, another show that's currently airing on DC Universe. I'm Dan the Man, and I'll see you next time.